Welcome back. A World Health Organization advisory group met yesterday to discuss the COVID surge in mainland China, amid urging from the global community for the country to share more data. And a major concern, given the rapid spread there, is that new variants could emerge. Meg Terrell is back, and she joins us now with that story. Welcome back, Meg.
Thank you. I feel like we're socially distanced right here, but I'm going to come and see you very quickly. So the good news is what we learned from that meeting with the WHO advisory group is that right now about 98% of the cases that are being sequenced in China, at least as what they're reporting, is an Omicron sublineage or two different Omicron sublineages. So those are relatively familiar things. But as you said, the thing that people are concerned about is that we're not getting enough data from China just across the board. And the worry is that we could get a more concerning variant in terms of contagiousness or severity. And the WHO did say that today they are watching this one, XBB.1.5, which in the United States is growing incredibly quickly. They actually said today that this is the most transmissible subvariant they've seen of COVID yet. And of course, that makes sense if it's going to grow so quickly. We've seen it now more than 40% of cases in the U.S. in the most recent week of estimations from the CDC, up from 4% just about 3 weeks ago. The good news is, though, while they don't have definitive data on the severity of this variant just yet, they don't expect it to be more severe. And we have a lot of background of immunity in the United States because of all the infections and all the vaccinations we've been getting, which is not the case necessarily in China.
And come on over, if we're allowed to do that now. So this is an interesting one because there are people who say the question of variants is one that we've already put to the test because of the spread globally, and that opening up China doesn't necessarily present as much of a risk to new mutations. What are you hearing in terms of the risks here? Further mutations, the severity of those mutations, and all the rest of it?
Well, the thing we know is that the more people who are infected, the more opportunities there are for more mutations to arise and more variants to come out. And so that's what we saw in India. That's what we've seen everywhere where we've seen a lot of spread. That's where Delta came from. And so that is a concern. But Omicron has been so contagious. What we've been seeing is a splintering of Omicron into these many different sublineages. And hopefully we won't see one emerge that is more severe, that really beats our vaccine protection. The government's message is keep getting boosted. That should keep you protected against severe disease. It probably won't protect us against infection, though.
So, and where are we on the vaccination question? Because even we were just talking with Ed Yardeni at the top of the show, and he's like, I got my vaccines, I got my boosters, all the rest of it. He still got COVID. Does it provide protection against the severity of those symptoms? And are there still any lingering questions about harm caused by the vaccine itself?
Well, we know a lot about the vaccine safety profile, and of course there is that rare heart side effect for specific groups, particularly young men under 30, but that is pretty rare. The idea is that the vaccine, while not protecting against getting a case of COVID, should continue to protect well against severe COVID. The government warns the farther you are out and the older you are, perhaps that will diminish over time, but they are holding up pretty well against severe disease.
And finally, what should we expect next from the WHO, organizations like this? I mean, again, the rest of the world kind of asks them to step in here, but what is it that they have the capacity to do?
Yeah, that's been a problem the entire time. They can provide information, they can provide guidance, but they have no real ability to actually affect any sort of changes in any countries. And so we are continuing to look to them for information. They are continuing to urge China, probably more strongly than especially we saw at the beginning, to share information. Beyond that, we look to them mainly as a source of information.